We're going to jump straight into Tan versus, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, the name of them, I'm going to read it once again, is No Respect.
There's no respect.
We should, in theory, if everything has been done correctly by me, which it probably hasn't, let's be completely honest with ourselves, be ready to switch straight over. If I can get my game to let me switch over. There we go.
Well, I mean, just to round out that one, it kind of seemed like we were in a situation where you have, Incognito, who are a very dominant open team. I almost want to say that they're kind of intermediate quality from what we've seen from them, and it was just a little bit of outclassing without, being disrespectful to the ER players. Hopefully, they can look back at that and learn a couple of, new tips and tricks and bring that into their own game. But I mean, they're not the most versed Inferno team, so I don't really blame them for losing that one.
Definitely not. And do you know what? We've actually caught this game right at the very beginning. The ninth round has just commenced, so we'll jump straight into the action. Team EsportsWales Tan versus No Respect. No Respect do take the ninth round, and we'll switch to CT immediately. We are going to be looking at this game on Vertigo for you, and everything, in theory, should be good to go. I'm just waiting for a message of Jakey going, you've done this wrong, or you've done that wrong. But no, everything seems to be good, so we'll leave it as it is. Right.
Yeah.
We haven't really had any chance to prep for this game. I haven't, at least anyway. I know you do your prep like a week in advance for games, so I'll let you run the story as it would be for this game so far.
I don't have the most info for you from this No Respect squad. I know that they're Turkish, and that's about all I've been able to gather. I wasn't even sure of their roster, but as you can see, Fola and Colors, they're doubling up on this short area. They can absolutely shut this push down, and, well, Tan were caught completely off guard. It is just Ollie to try and recover things, but it doesn't matter, because just as I say that, he falls. Caster Curse coming to play, but not a single player going down from No Respect, who were affording Tan no respect in that round.
Yeah, they really were. Just they dominated into that CT hold. Just perfectly placed positioning from No Respect, and they kind of allowed Tan to take a bit of extra space, bite off a little bit more of the slight push control, and punish them for it in return. This map is one of those sort of maps where you kind of afford to allow your opponents on T side to take a lot of control of dead ground areas, like we're seeing at the moment, and really punish off the back of it. And that's exactly what I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's Esquires just did. That is exactly what you can allow them to do, is give them that little bit of extra room, give them that little bit of extra space to maneuver, and then punish off the back with good utility usage as well as good placements.
Yeah, it absolutely is. They're taking advantage of those long sight lines, and it just works out so well for them. They can, buy up full utility, and they'll be happy to sit on the fan masses. They can do decent amount of damage on their own. We're going to see some ramp aggressions, and we've seen previous teams before take quite strong aggressions towards this ramp area. It is going to be a stacking of sorts, as No Respect don't want to give up any space whatsoever. They're going to re-smoke behind that, I believe, and, well, that's left Tan with quite a bit of lacking utility to work with. They don't really have a lot to speak of, and, well, I don't know what the game plan is going to be here.
Yeah, this lack of utility is kind of... it's nerve-wracking more than anything. You'd expect with crunch rounds like this, where you're round 3, you would have enough money in the bank. But then, first round we saw no player folding from No Respect. Second round we saw no player folding from No Respect. So Tan haven't been, given any kind of good economy to work with in that, in that sense.
Yeah. Well, that's a really nice flash push.
Yeah.
They are able to trade 1-for-1, so he probably doesn't get as much as he wanted, but he has all the info. I don't know if they spotted bomb, but just the sheer number of players there should play into letting them know how this is going to end up. There's 2 players stacked on short again, repeating the pistol round antics that was going on, and, well, it plays out in a similar fashion. They're not even going to be able to get bomb to sight because it's Mr. left on his lonesome. Colors can shut that one down, and it just seemed like No Respect had all their, covers cornered. All their corners covered. And they shut that one down. I just want to highlight, actually, only 2 players from Tan have kills so far. That's a worrying prospect.
That really is. It's worrying for a long-term prospect more than anything, because you can't really sustain the way that you are. At the moment, you can't really sustain these long rounds, these deeper rounds into this first half if you're not able to convert those early frags. You put yourself on max loss bonus with no economy coming off the back of it. It's going to suck, to be completely honest. These frags from Pommy and from Ollie, as minor as they may seem, and yes, there's a AK recovered and auto director for some reason wants to stay in third-person camera on that dead player. Yes, it's good for them, in the sense of picking up those AKs, but the long-term outcome as a result of getting those frags is much more bigger. It's massive differences. When we head into round 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bomb plant as well off the back of this. Perfect from Tan. They will get a lot of money out of the back of this round, which started off very poorly, and this is terribly falling apart there as Fowler is just slicing and dicing through Tan, but Mister's able to survive somehow. I don't know how he survived that spray through box, I'll be completely honest with you, but he somehow survives it, and he will pick up a round on the board for Tan, and some good money in the bank for Tan as well off the back of that.
Yeah, you talk about money there. It just goes to show how fragile the CT side economy is, because Tan, they've only won one round. They've only had a significant amount of kills in that previous round, and they're already on the verge of being reset. We've seen Fowler, he had the impact in the last round in that 1 versus 3, but he's stuck on a deagle. I think that's by virtue to get Cyber the AWP, but in any case, being stuck on this low buy is a perilous situation to be in, and, well, I'm absolutely looking for Tan to capitalize.
A little bit of lack of aggression off the back of that, though, isn't there, in fairness? It's good smoke and utility usage there coming out from No Respect. Gives Fowler a bit more time, doesn't it, really, to play in that position. He also sells it. Oh.
That's some nice timing on the flash. Even though it doesn't work out, the way that they can coordinate themselves, and he even has a backup smoke, so he's sat there the whole round. It's going to be nigh on 30 seconds by the time he gets out. There we go. Tanner forced to take him out of the round, but the sheer information and impact that one spot has had on the game is critical enough for it to be worth it in the end. Oh, Cyber. He's just hitting AWP shots, and Pommy's stuck on his lonesome. There is a lurker, and the lurker has the bomb, or maybe not a lurk, but a player coming up from the rear from right back. But in a 1 versus 3 with I don't know if they heard it. They didn't hear it.
Sound does travel. I mean, you've got Cyber that's not too far away from him as well. Also, so I think he may be. I think you can hear it from Sandbag.
They definitely didn't hear it. They wouldn't be watching with it if they heard
they wouldn't be. Yeah, you're right.
Cyber. There we go.
Beyond that was the first shot that we've really seen him miss in that round, in fairness. But yeah, Cyber will whiff the first, but he'll manage to recover it quite smoothly off the second shot there. I could have swore you'd be able to hear that footstep from Sandbag, but I'm definitely wrong, because we didn't see any kind of alerted movement from No Respect. But so far, 4-1 is the scoreline into round 6, and we've managed to catch this game right at the very beginning, and No Respect is living up to the name essentially at the moment.
Yeah, it's just as chaotic as the last game, but I feel like both of the teams are carrying the energy through. It just kind of seems that No Respect have caught Tan a little bit more off guard, and that's worked into their favor in bags and spades. And they're even going to get ramp control. This is a really good team play, and they've just got the perfect setups to counter what Tan is throwing at them. That nade should do a chunk of damage onto Mister. Indeed, it will. And just as Tan fall away from the ramp, Mister might get caught off guard, actually. There we go. He gets taken out. Not even a lick of damage put onto these No Respect players, but doesn't matter, because Ollie, he's got an entry onto this B site, and that's opened the door for them to flood together. There we go. A second from Pommy. They can recover those weapons, and, this is definitely a round on the cards. Deagles can do damage. We've seen in the last game. It's Tan the one doing the damage this time, though. Pommy gets taken out. Both the rifles, in fact. And, just as the danger looms, it's going to get cut down. Freestyler's left on his lonesome will be taken out, and there we go. No Respects. They bring things back into sanity as they put a 5th on the board.
deja vu is starting to set in a little bit, really, isn't it? In fairness, we've come from one game which has been, very, very punishing for an EsportsWales team, and Tan, unfortunately, are on the same kind of mindset at the moment.
Are you sure we didn't just swap the names at the top?
I think that's what's happened. Yara have just gone, let's do another one. Why not? Let's mess with them. Cyber will get the opening frag onto right back. I mean, Cyber is definitely one to watch out for at the minute. Your danger man as far as AWP is concerned, and he's put himself in really good positions to really play super offensive and shotgun AWP more or less in some cases with these frags. Colours will pick up a frag elsewhere.
Ollie, he could have impact here. He can see the nade being thrown. That's it. That's the first kill. I don't know if they're aware of the player pushing around the construction area, but Ollie's got some space to work with. There we go. There's a second. Oh, there's one push through ladder room. What is going on? Oh, Mister. That adjustment was perfect. That's exactly what he needed, but he's not going to consider the second player.
Oh, he gets picked up from the rear. Yeah. 1v1 with Ollie. He has played this round very, very well. I mean, that pop flash should help him in some ways if he can get the trigger discipline in place. He isn't able to, and Fowler will pick up a round off what could only be described as a crafty position to begin with, and just a good game sense in that respect. He allowed the players to push past him and was able to clear Paris as a result. That's why we see the scoreboard as it is, 6-1 in favour of No Respect.
Yeah, at least, Tan, they're getting some space to work with, and Ollie made a really good play, to be fair to him. It's just a shame that they can't pull it off at the end, and they don't have the awareness to be able to close that one out. No blame to them. You don't expect that play, and you don't expect that kind of shot from freestylers, but Sizz, he picks up two, blind dabbing through the flashbang of his teammate, and he's just left onto Ryback, and he'll get put down as well, so No Respect. They do get put, onto a challenging position, but they can recover their wits, and well, they've put a 7th up already. Yeah,
7 rounds on the board this early on in the first half. 7-1, sorry, to be this far ahead in the first half is definitely dangerous territory to be in. Can't help but think that there's multiple things that could change from Tan really to make a difference in that scoreline. There is the luck play in some respect as well. I'm not going to take that away. Palmy just got slapped with damage there. Freestyles will take the brunt of, I think that's Sizz.
CSGO, yeah.
CSGO, yeah. CSGO's damage into him, and Ollie's not playing around at the minute with Fowler. He's able to secure the frag that time on him. Yeah, there's multiple things that could change from Tan at the minute to really make a big impact into No Respect. Some of it is like timings like that, for example, but I think it's having cover positions ready as well also. Mister's able to pick up 1 and 2. This is X being the second man to fall, and it's left to Cyber in a 1v3.
Yeah, the top performer so far for this No Respect squad, and well, I was going to say coming into this round that No Respect had been dynamic to the point that it's so problematic for Tan that they can't even pick up frags, although we can see just how that dynamicism can play into your own defeat as they push into one by one making those hero plays, and it's just not going to work out for them in this case. As I say that though, a 1 versus 3 post plant, where have we seen this before? Cyber, he's pushed up, he's got 1, and you should have some awareness of where these final 2 players are because he's not been challenged from anywhere else. Ryback will be able to close things down, and that's a much needed round because Tan can build into the game from this.
Yeah, they really can. They can build off the back of that round. They can certainly do a lot more damage off the back of it. This is the situation that we're in, and I kind of want to take it back 6 or 7 rounds when we first really started digging deeper and deeper into this. This is the scenario that you get into when you aren't able to secure frags. Speaking of securing frags, Palmy will pick up 4 as I'm in the middle of talking about it, and Free Yourselves will get the 5th off the back of that. What I was trying to say, and I hope you'd agree at least anyway, when you're in that kind of position the first 3-4 rounds where you don't have any frags on the board, you're gonna face a big punishment for at least 5 or 6 rounds. We've seen No Respect take 7 rounds in a row off them, but now Tan have started to claw back kills into these rounds. Yes, they've been losing them as far as points are on the board's concerned, but they've been building that economy up quite nicely. They're going to be awarded essentially the potential chance of picking up 2 rounds back to back off No Respect for a double eco that they've had to push themselves into.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the loosey-goosey style of No Respect is playing into their downfall as the skill difference between these two teams is perhaps a little bit closer than the previous match that we saw. As I say that though, Tan, they're going to commit behind this B execute. There are 3 players here. They found 2 of them, but Fola, he's going to put up some sort of a defense, picking one out, not able to get anything else, but he's bought enough time for the rotations to come through. Colors and Cyber, the 2 Cs from this Turkish squad, trying to have some more impact. But there we go. Ryback and Mr. They can close things out. And, well, we've seen a couple of games from Tan where, Mr. hasn't, for one reason or another, been able to play. And you can just see, the almost revitalization of the squad, having him play again, with their main squad together. And, well, I just hope that they can build more into it.
Yeah, 100% agreed with that. I mean, we've seen him have some very, very, very rough games indeed. I was lucky enough to watch them play in the Tell tournament, the first one.
On, right?
Yeah, the winner stays on tournament. That's the word I was looking for. And we saw him not have the best of starts into that game, but it's nice to see Tan kind of grouping up together and working off the back of it. I'm not saying that this game has been terrible for them by any stretch of the imagination, but you can definitely see there's been vast improvements from when we first originally started doing the ESEA with EsportsWales.
Yeah, that was such a good setup from No Respect. They were, sat in a really nice crossfire. I don't know how they were able to get away with it, but as soon as the bomb drops, I think it was on the back of Ryback, it's just dire straits because Tan, walk in one by one into the waiting arms of these players on No Respect, and they just get cut down from left, right, and center as No Respect fade away, and it's ended up in this 3 versus 1 situation. And well, the Freestylers might have control of bomb, but he doesn't really have the HP or the utility to put anything together. If he does any, as I say that
was no way.
He one taps one player out of the server. Fola, that's a quick adjustment, and well, there we go. It's returning to normalcy. I thought I was going to cast a curse myself. But
no, he didn't. I mean, Freestylers had 3 HP with 3 players left to take off. He managed to pick up 1, isn't successful in picking up the opposite 2. But nonetheless, 1 additional frag on the board for him. That's going to be another weapon needed to be purchased from No Respect. That's going to play a little bit longer into this first half, potentially, with a few rounds left on the board to be able to cover from. 8-4 is the scoreline. Freestylers will open things up as he closed things off in the last round and take down Fola. They're super conscious of the sandbag position, and as we can see from minimap, that isn't now being chosen to be used by No Respect. Palmy! That's a perfect spray through positioning, and Colors is the man to fall off the back of it.
the game sense coming out of that man is exquisite, but Exquire, he's going to have an exquisite spray control. Oh no, it's all falling apart. Just as we were giving their praises, CSGO comes out with a 4K with an MP9. I don't know how that materialized. He just jumped through a smoke and 3 players just fell to the wayside, but that was nuts. No Respect, just showing, their namesake. They're just going to push through smokes and give Tan No Respect, and I feel like that, Tan have been caught so unawares on the ramp position. They were kind of surprised to get site control, and just as they gain that site control, No Respect to jumping through smokes to gain it back.
Yeah. We said that's big. That's 2 massive kills, in fact. That's upgrades as well off the back of it. That's a 3rd. No stop, boys. Just keep on pushing through. Get yourself into site control. You've already taken it, essentially. It's all about the utility usage now. Mr. fumbles with a smoke grenade, but he will manage to get himself into position to get bomb plant, and that's a night and day kind of round, essentially, isn't it? In comparison to the round prior, No Respect not able to really clap back off that push through by Tan.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they were taking the confidence a bit too far and not giving Tan, the space, or attempting to not give Tan the space to work with. Of course, Pommy and Ryback, they're perfectly set up to be prepared for that kind of push, but it's just a really nice opening that Tan were kind of deserved at this point.
Oh, that's 3 kills. Can't afford to really lose. 4
Well-
kills you can't afford. I can't help but feel. I mean, I want to just say, I mean, we only saw 2 players go hunting there, and they were punished for it off the back of going hunting. But realistically speaking, you should always really be anticipating that, those exit frag positions. And Cyber's in a really good placement to get the first one off the back of it. And he's just too quick on the trigger, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is, and I don't blame Tan for going hunting there, but I feel like after you've lost 2, or more players, you kind of just need to sit back and be like, all right, we tried, we at least attempted it. We should, have the wherewithal to pull back and have some patience. As I say that though, Ryback, he's going to give no patience to No Respect and push through short. There we go, the round's just falling apart again as they drop 3 players on the CT side. Mister, he's stuck in the molly though. He's not giving the patience to let that peter out before he plants the bomb, and it is just Cyber now stuck on the AWP. I'm going to hold my breath while I wait for this round to come to a close because he's got the first and there are 2 more to find, but he has the info on Mister. There we go. That's a really nice flashbang to buy him a bit of space, and, well, it's 9-6 at the end of the half.
It really is 9-6 at the end of the half, and just as quick as we saw the first game go to second half, we'll see the second do the same. I mean, what can we say? Yeah, so far it's been back and forth, frankly, for the last couple of rounds, but we saw No Respect essentially just push through that damage into Tan as much as they possibly could in that fairly early stage of the first half. We should be going straight into map live. We are indeed, so we'll switch back to gameplay. And we'll see what Tan can kind of do on CT now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this pistol round is instrumental, not just for, the following rounds that come up, but just for Tan to build a little bit of confidence into this. They haven't gone for the kit. They've gone for 5 bits of armor, so it is going to be imperative for them to be able to halt the push from No Respect, who are going to push the middle. They should have the info passed along, and there's 2 big kills from Mister, but he gets taken down, and Tan, they need to give them a bit of space to work with because they just fall twice. Freestylers can recover things, almost reaction shotting onto his teammate there, but Sizex is left on his lonesome in a 1 versus 3. He's tapping down 1, almost gets the second, but he'll get taken out eventually. And, well, there we go. The pistol round does fall to Tan.
Super strong pistol round. That's the pistol round that we kind of both wanted to see. It needed to be, they needed to put that round on the board, frankly, and they have done successfully. So, that I get, again, it's only the 1 round on the board, in that respect, but it's what plays into the longevity of the second half. If they can really punish off the back of this, especially when No Respect have spent so much into the second round, I really feel like Tan could recuperate quite a lot of these rounds they've had lost in their respect. Squares, however, will answer before I can finish my sentence, and Ollie will be the man to fall. The back of quite a nice deagle.
That's a dirty deeg.
It's just good positioning, isn't it, from the deagle?
Yeah, crosshair placement, right?
Yeah. Right, it's going to answer back. You'll pick up 1, but again, that MP9 ringing true. Just showing how deadly it actually is, isn't it? A lot of players kind of, would rather buy a pistol to force up into a rifle the next round afterwards, but with an MP9 you can really convert some extra cash into your balance.
Yeah, I mean, we love to see a dirty deeg every once in a while, but it's not going to happen so far as Freestylers puts on a formidable defense. They did lose the opening frag through the smoke nonetheless, but reactions come through and Tan should be able to stabilize. It is just Cyber left on the Galil, and I think, who was that jumped down? I don't even know, but that's quite a confident play. It was Mister. He'll get the information eventually, but feels like it might have been a misplay because it is a 1 versus 1 right now. Freestylers versus Cyber. Cyber is the top performer so far, and he's going to continue that performance. There we go. Tommy caught in the backlines, though. Man, This is getting way too close.
It's a lot of punishment into the round as well, and no respect to clawing back frag after frag, as many as they possibly can off the back of it. Yes, it's nice to see the round go on the board for Tan, but again, this is what I was referring to with regards to like the kill counts. You know, you want to try to limit the amount of exposure that no respect can really build off the back of these rounds. Losing 4 players and still winning a round is a positive for your scoreline, but it's not a positive for your bank balance, and it's definitely not a positive for your longevity. Right back, however, will clap back, and Sis and Cyber do fall, but Fall is able to retort, but too little too late, some would say, in that respect, as two of his friends even, fall quite quickly into that first opening spray. Pommy will answer back again, and that's another 2 taken out with MP9s. I'm going to have to switch my gameplay up. I'm going to grab an MP9 every single round, never mind an M4.
Yeah, you know what? The MP9s have done a lot of damage, and you can see that's farmed up just as much money. It's kind of a juxtaposition, actually. You were talking about those early frags. The fact that No Respect were able to get those kills means that Tan were knocked back onto that MP9 kind of gun round, and we're kind of in this weird MP9 bonus round where 4 players have MP9s against full AKs and that 1 SG for No Respect. And it is a juxtaposition between how these two teams started off their respective CT sides.
Wow. How was Freestyle got that frag?
So much aggression.
Yeah, massive amounts of aggression. I was going to say, how was Freestyle's got that initial frag, though? I mean, that's like... He should never be in that position to be able to get it from a no respect perspective. Yes, they do punish off the back of it, and they get 2 for it. Their troubles, in fact. But realistically speaking, Cypher shouldn't be dead in that scenario.
Well, he should have been dead. He picks up 1, and that might be the summation of this round as we close to a 10-9 scoreline. No Respect, they've taken the lead back just as Tan bring it level, pegging from the half. It's almost been snatched away from them. It was a bonus round of sorts, so Tan can definitely buy back into this, and it does seem like that's going to happen. Freestyle, as you did see in the previous round, had a bit of extra cash. He can drop that AWP over to Mister, and well, I'm absolutely having my eyes on that man to be able to have some impact. If he can't get an opening frag here, then it might be all done and dusted before it's begun. He's going to be peeking down the ramp area, but there's no one there to greet him as Ryback gets called into question. That's a bomb being dropped, actually. If he can stay alive, unable to do so means that No Respect have a bit of space to work with, and Ollie gets 1 kill, but they've already snuck past the Guardian area, and that's a lot of map control to work with. Colors, caught turning the wrong way, and that's a really nice game sense push from Pommy. 3 versus 2 in the end. He's getting burnt at the toes, and Esquires can take advantage of that, but an AWP and an M4 aren't the ideal weapons for this retake. Mister is going to flash his teammate through, and that's given them a bit of space to work with. Esquires and Cyber are going to try and hold these players off, however, and there's a flash of their own. That's a nice one. Ollie caught lacking, and he gets taken out of the round. Mister, he's going to fall away with the AWP, and that's probably the wise thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, look at the economy that Tan have got here. They're going to have to buy up around the back of that AWP. That's like almost a necessity at this point now to try and stifle respect as much as they can. 11-9 is the scoreline into round 6 of the second half of this map, and it has been neck and neck, and it's been back and forth for quite a large portion of this game. But realistically speaking, and correct me if I'm wrong, that last round was really the first time that we've seen both teams buy up in equal quantities. We've had a lot of MP9 rounds from Tan going into a full buy round from No Respect with MP9s, in fact. So to see Rifles going up against Rifles and that outcome happen, it feels like another series of one-way traffic is due.
Well, it is one-way traffic as No Respect steamroll their way onto the B site. They're going to have absolutely no problems to deal with as all 5 players have 100% health, not a lick of damage being traded over, and it's just left onto Pommy now. He has a P250. We've seen the likes of Zyrex pull off some insane things with that weapon, but I don't think we're going to see a replica of that happening today.
Yeah, no, we're not going to see that.
I kind of want Tan to, just call in a pause and try and disrupt the flow that No Respect have, because at this point, No Respect are just flowing their way through these rounds and just picking up wins left, right, and center. Yeah,
I feel a pause is definitely a strong shout. I mean, it's it's up there as far as you and I would be concerned if you're a coach from your perspective, and for me as a player, as a commentator, I'd want to see that pause come in just to give that little bit of breathing space. But Tan are that team, unfortunately, the team that I always like to reference to, where I go, they're going to call a pause here, and they end up doing it, and I'm just lucky because they don't know what they're doing when they're doing it in respect to pauses, which is usually the case. Freestylers will answer back, and CSGO will drop. That's
for the rotations.
Oh, look at this.
What's that? Oh no. Well, Bola has just shown a bit of ankle, shot some bullets into the smoke, and that's pulled the rotations completely away from A. Pommy is able to come back just in time, just as these no respect players are on the precipice of the site, and he gets caught off as the nades come flying through. And well, that's just by virtue of the presence that they had on that site, B site. That was Pommy is gonna, or not Pommy, Freestylers is gonna drop the bomb, but it will get planted nonetheless. They do try and push through the smoke, get some no respect action, but they're so prepared for it. It's just not going to work out. And it is just Ollie. He has been having a good game so far, but he's going to get caught out. And, well, no respect put a 13th up on the board. And this is a little bit worrying now, Nick.
Yeah, it is. It's concerning, most definitely. 13-9 is the scoreline. I mean, it still is recoverable from a TAM perspective, but it's what they try and do out of these rounds where they will have cash to flow into it. This being an eco round, you're going to be looking for those frags, of course, and do as much damage as you possibly can, recover weapons if need be. But that's a really big jump, by the way. Oh, okay, Cypher will pick up Pommy. I was considering that's a massive jump when you consider it. Pommy, if he was able to stay in that position for a little bit longer, might have done a lot more work into it. But Freestyles and Ryback elsewhere are clipping players where they possibly can. 2 frags will go in favour of Team Tan, but again, it's left to one player, and that player is Mr.
Yeah, it kind of just feels like it's all for naught because they're trying to push in together as a team, but it's just not working out in the right way that they want, and they're giving up a lot of info and map control in the process. Not, giving them too much criticism. It is a pistol round, and they're going to try and do what they can to work together for those frags, but it just kind of seems like no respect have a little bit more skill on the board right now, and that's just sometimes the way it is.
Yeah. Just be able to convert one off that. I mean, that's a hunter, essentially. We're now going to see Cyber go for him and Cyber finish him off as well.
Yeah, I mean,
do you go on? You sorry. I'll ask you my question in a second.
No, go ahead.
do you feel like in that scenario there? Okay, he's being hunted. He's in a decent position to kind of hold off and to sit back away from it. Do you feel him swinging out to go for that frag to stop the hunters a bit, not a misplay as such, but a bit too much of a greedy play?
I mean, sitting in an off angle when players are hunting you isn't the worst idea. It's like it's a no-win situation. It's only a good play if it works, and it's only a bad play if it doesn't at the end of the day, Of course, there are, perhaps better, more logical tactics to use, but that's not to say that, he did anything wrong there. It's just a difference in play styles at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that same vein, like, I kind of want to see Tan trading out a bit more, although if they're going to walk into your crosshairs, I'm sure these players will happily take it. Ollie picking up 2 there, Mr. chiming in as well, and those are 2 big fraggers that you want to see get some confidence and put some more notches on the board. There we go, Mr. getting his second, Freestylers pushing through the smoke, and there we go. That's the exact burst of confidence that Tan needed, and they need to capitalize off the back of that.
They really do. They got to really push out in this round. They got to dominate off the back of that as much as they possibly can. Try and pull all that firepower they brought into that last round into this one and keep swinging, essentially. For as long as you possibly can, keep swinging. 10-14, it's still recoverable. I love to say it. You love to hear me say it. And it is just a case now of figuring out if Tan can kind of claw those rounds back as we know they can sometimes do.
Yeah, I just want to, will it to be one of those rocky moments where, Tan just gets beat up, hit left, right, and center, and they kind of let No Respect gas themselves out, and now this is the point where they need to claw those rounds back and start, bringing themselves back into the fight. It is going to be this A committal from No Respect. The flash goes a bit wayside, but it's not going to matter because there aren't a lot of players here to punish from Tan. Oh no, Palmy almost gets caught out, sorry. But they need to forfeit some space on this A ramp because they weren't expecting No Respect to be that far up. Oh, Palmy spots him out. There's first, almost gets a second, but he gets traded out far too early. And well, the info should be relayed across, although you can only really call one more player. There is another 1-for-1 trade. Ollie can close things out, and that stabilizes things a little bit, but it's still a dangerous prospect. 3 versus 2 can swing in anyone's favor. Ryback will push short and close that out. It is just going to be CSGO now, 3 versus 1, and he's just going to run for the hills. He's gone. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Mister, he's going to have to be hot on his heels to be able to shut down this rotation to the B site. He does have the AWP, so it's about all the, impact you need. But they're going to get there late. The timing isn't going to match CSGO, and there we go. Ollie can bring things to a close. I don't know why I was so hesitant with that. I should have just committed, but I didn't want to, call on the caster curse.
No, I mean, you and I have been proven wrong many, many times before. So let's just understand from both our perspectives the reason why we're very hesitant sometimes for this to happen. Anyway, moving completely forward as swiftly as possible from that sentence. 11-14 is your new scoreline. Cyber is able to get a frag off the back of that initial push by Mister, and the AWP's duel, and Cyber is the one to come out on top. Does leave Freestyles in an awkward position, which is why we now see Ollie kind of rotate himself into position, ready to lend some kind of assistance towards him.
Yeah, and just losing a player so early on your CT side of Vertigo is a really big problem to have, because it means the No Respect have a lot of room to work with. It is really putting the pressure on Tan to make a play happen, and that's exactly why you see them pushing ramp like this in a kind of late round scenario. There is only going to be one falling, but Pommy, he needs to get a little bit more impact from that. There is one more player rotated on the site, so it's not all for naught, but kind of hoping for him to get a little bit more there. It is going to be on Ollie and Freestylers to hold off this push as Cyber, Fola, and Esquez lock down this A site. The bomb should get planted, but just as they try and make a play happen, Ollie gets shut down, and, well, they can hear the reload behind that smoke. They know exactly where Freestylers is, and he's not going to have any more impact into the round, apart from a kill onto Cyber. Cyber
just played outstanding in that round. I think we need to take a moment there to give a bit of a nod to Cyber. That push from him initially to take out Mister, and then he rotates back in perfectly to help out his team with pushing to A. It's just, he's an incredibly well placed player within this team, and I'm interested to see more from No Respect, if I'm honest with you, in the intermediate side of things. 15-11 is your scoreline as No Respect take us to match point, and Team Tan are doing good work so far of trying to rotate players into key positions, but can't argue sometimes it's a little bit too soon, and that rotation can sometimes bite you. But they've read into it quite nicely at the minute. You can see a lot of No Respect standing by to start making manoeuvres up and in, or selling that decision that they're going to be doing so. But in reality, you've got CSGO, who's already playing anchor, pushed himself into a good position to really ward his team a little bit closer to that B site.
Yeah, it is a gamble stack of sorts, and Tan are fairly content on leaving this B site open. It's a kind of retake situation, but you never really want to be in a spot where you're retaking with 2 AWPs, so they're going to have to be hot on the rotations here. Mister, he'll get the first right before being flashed. That's a nice shot, and, well, he kind of needs to get a little bit more. He is smoked off the angle, though, so the avenues from which you can get those advanced peaks are shutting down. Although, as I say that, Ryback and his teammate Pommy are going to push right through around the smokes. They completely prevent the bomb from being planted, and, well, it's all on Fola to recover things. The 2 AWPs are up still, so they can definitely take advantage of those one-shot capabilities, and, well, Fola, it's just a matter of time as Mister brings things to a close. Tan put up 12th.
Yeah, 12-15 is your new scoreline, as we can see from that. And yeah, Tan just clawing round after round back here. I mean, keep this up and we go to OT, have that one little mistake and error in judgment and allow No Respect that little bit more room to manoeuvre into a site, and it's all over with. No Respect on a Deagle round, so we should see the potential it would be going 15-13, but we have seen very, very stranger things happen before.
We have indeed. These Deagles have that one-shot headshot capability no matter the condition of the armor of the CTs, and, well, you see it come into effect right there. Colors picking up the first, and he's going for more along with the rest of his teammates. Not able to connect just yet, and that's a nice nade. Ryback, he's content with getting a couple more kills on the board, as well as Pommy. And you know what? They're just having a field day. It's almost a shooting range on this A ramp. And just as I say that, Caster Curse comes to fruition. Both of them fall to the Deagles, and suddenly the round has opened up. A 2 versus 2 situation. Mister, he's sitting there waiting for the swing from the bomb. However, No Respect, they're content with sitting back, and that's going to cause the semi-rotation from Freestylers to come out. And that's perfect because Esquez, he picks Mister off with his AWP of his own.
Yeah, look at this position from Cyber as well. Cyber's basically cleared the entirety of site to allow Esquez that little bit more room to maneuver into it, and that's what takes us to match. You know, that's really good positioning from Cyber. I want to just quickly talk about that very, very briefly before we kind of wrap things up for the evening, but him wrapping around like that to get himself into position to cover bomb plant, I mean, that's good game sense in that respect, because it's clearing the site from the back side of things. But, you know, it's just wonderful to see that kind of ingenuity coming in, that player sense coming in from a team. That, unfortunately, will be it from us for this evening. I think you and I have earned a well-deserved break for the rest of the night, and I think we're back on Thursday, I want to say.
I don't know whether it's Thursday or the weekend, but we will be back.
I don't know what day it is, to be honest with you, anymore. I'll be honest. I think we're at that point in, you know, both of our kind of not careers as such, but both of our time in ESEA going, I don't know where I am. I know that I just turn up. I get a message from someone in the morning going, you're doing this game on this day, and then that's it. Actually, there you go. I'm being corrected from chat. The 26th of August, we'll be covering TAN from 8 p.m. for yourselves. And that's it for August then. We're moving into September, getting into the autumn months, and we'll start covering the back end of the ESEA. Jama, any closing words for you before we finish off for the evening, my friend?
Just thanks for everyone tuning in. Hopefully we'll see you guys next time, and hopefully we'll see some EsportsWales wins finally.
Yes, indeed. That's what we want to see, is points going on the board and you know, match wins coming in for Team Tan and Team Yar respectively. But catch us Thursday for Team Tan's final game of August, and we shall see you there. Peace.